Good morning, friends. We are learning our subject Machine Learning 3170724. And in that, today we want to learn unsupervised learning algorithm implementation using Python. So, let's see that. Let's say that we want to have a K-means clustering algorithm. So for that, what do we require is from sklearn, as we know that we are using the machine learning algorithms, they are from the sklearn library, isn't it? So now we want to have the clustering. For that, we need to use the library that is sklearn.cluster. So let us have that from sklearn.cluster import k-means. K-means clustering algorithm we want to implement. So that's what we are having here. For k-means cluster, we are specifying the number of clusters, isn't it? Import numpy as np, as we require to have our np arrays. So we are using that. First of all, we are learning with small, that is, you can say, very small example, not the real data set. So we can have the idea how it displays the things and how it works, right? So we can have the idea. After that, we'll see the real data set, and with that, we will see all the algorithms. Fine. So first of all, let us take one NP array and let us try to learn this k-means clustering algorithm implementation, that is in Python. Okay. So we have imported k-means from sklearn.cluster, import numpy as np, import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. As we know that if we want to plot scatter plot or any other plot, typically we are using the matplotlib.pyplot library, right? For machine learning algorithms, typically we are having our capital X, which is considered as providing our training data, isn't it? For any machine learning algorithm, we used to say that training is there. We can have the testing. If not, then at least we have to train, and then after we have to have the prediction. Right? At least this much is known to us. Fine? Okay. So that's what we are doing. First of all, we are giving the X, that is our data, training data, that is equal to np.array. That is, we are creating a np array. Now here we are specifying the data which is having two coordinates, x and y coordinates, right? Or you can say anything is there which is having, say, two coordinates. Let us say for student data, if I say, then you can say name and enrollment number, right? Or you can say, actually here we are having the numeric data. So let me say that it is your subject marks. You can say, ma'am, 1, 2. You may consider the total marks are 10. So you can consider this, isn't it? Okay. So this you can assume as marks from 10 for particular subjects, right? So this is capital X. This is our training data or simple data, you can say. Now, what we are doing is we are making the object of our k-means. How we make that? That is k-means equal to k-means. Now, what is this k-means? This k-means is what we have imported from sklearn.cluster. So now here what we are specifying is n underscore clusters is equal to 2. That means we want to create two clusters. Random underscore state is equal to 0. This we are specifying as we want to start from 0 state only. If we want that it should start from a particular state, then that we can provide. But typically we are using it as 0 dot fit x. As we already know that for as with available data, we are training our model. Which model here? It is our K-means clustering model, right? So that we are fitting with the help of fit method, right? With that, we can have the labels available. Now after that, what is the case? That K-means dot predict. We want to predict for unknown data. We want to predict for the unknown data, that whether it is part of the cluster 1 or cluster 2, or you can say 0 cluster or 1 cluster, right? So this is what we want to get. Now what we are doing is print k-means.cluster centers. Now for k-means algorithm, we are having the cluster centers as it is having the mean, right? Whatever data is there, for that it finds the means, or you can say it finds the centers. For all the clustering algorithms, we do not have the centers available. But for this particular algorithm, center with k-means dot cluster underscore centers underscore, it will give us the center, right? Okay. So we'll be printing that using this x colon 0 and x colon comma 1, right? With that, we'll be able to print cluster 1 and cluster 2, right? Now we want to have the scatter plot for this. So what we do is, let me show you one by one. This will draw the clusters, and after that what code I have commented, with that we can show the centers with different colors, right? Here let me show you this by running what it does. It is connecting, right? It is initializing. So what we are getting is the output, right? Cluster 1 is having this and cluster 2 is having this coordinates, fine? So what we say is, here it considers what? This 1, 1, 1, 10, 10, 10. What it is? Where we are having this 1, 1, 1 and 10, 10, 10. Right? Whatever x coordinates are there, that it considers. And for other clusters, 2, 4, 0, 2, 4, 0. Right? It divides the data in two parts as the one coordinate in one cluster and second coordinate in second cluster, right? So after that, what do we say is, this is the plot, scatter plot of our what? Of our data, right? So we can say that here we are having the data. This red color circles are part of cluster 1, other is part of cluster 2, right? They are part of cluster 2. Now, if we want to see the cluster centers, what we can do is, we have to write this line, that is, we have to uncomment this line. What it says, that cluster centers, as we know that they are the 0 and 1 cluster. So their centers, and after that, what we say is, color is equal to black. So we are making our centers as black. So this is the original, right? Where we are having the red circles as part of cluster 1, this violet circles as part of cluster 2. But now we'll be making the center So now we can see the centers are black, right? Centers are black. This is our typical small data set, right? It is not our CSV file. But with that, we can understand it, isn't it? Now, let us see the agglomerative clustering, or you can say it is hierarchical clustering. From sklearn.cluster, import agglomerative clustering. See, for whatever algorithm we want, we can say that we have to import the class of that particular clustering, isn't it? So for that, what we are doing is, here we are importing the particular class. Then after we can say that import numpy as np. This is required for all the algorithms as we are using the numpy array here, right? So x is equal to np dot array. It is the same array which we were having before. Is it so or different? Let's see. Is it the same? Yes. It is the same, right? No, it is not same because 10, 10, 10 were there and here it is not so, right? You can keep the same. It doesn't matter to us. But let us have the data available that is in NP array. Now, what we do is, here what we need to do is, clustering is equal to agglomerative clustering and underscore clusters is equal to 2 dot fit x, right? So here, what will be there? Here we need to mention the number of clusters. Otherwise, the result will be a single cluster containing all data. This agglomerative clustering is one cluster at the end. First of all, we divide the data in, say, two clusters, or let us say that single data is there in one cluster. Then after we merge them, two we merge. Then after we can say that we'll be able to merge them. Then again we merge. Then again we merge, and at last we will be having the single cluster. So here, if we are providing n underscore clusters is equal to 2, then it will consider 2 clusters. Otherwise, you can say that it will consider one cluster at the end. Clustering dot fit x, right? That is what we are doing for any other algorithm. That is, we are training the model, right? Here we are having the print clustering labels, right? So that labels we are able to get here. You can see here cluster centers are there. No, here it is not there. Fine. Now, one more algorithm that is based on the density. Based on the density of the data, that we can say is the dbScan algorithm. This is for the density, and this is what we have said that was for hierarchical, right? You should not forget that. So let me put the comment here, right? Hierarchical. Okay. So here, dbScan is one algorithm that is based on the density of the data. So now what we are specifying here, from sklearn.cluster, import dbScan. db is equal to dbScan. We are making the object of dbScan. What are the parameters available here? Say EPS is equal to 0.5, minimum samples is equal to 5, metric, that is a distance which we want to consider is Euclidean distance, right? So what we say about, we can put our mouse here and we'll be able to see the help of it, right? EPS is float and default is 0.5. What it is? The maximum distance between two samples for one to be considered as in the neighborhood of the other. This is not a maximum bound on the distances of points within a cluster, right? So what we do is, this is the most important DBSCAN parameter to choose appropriately for your data set and distance function, right? So this is what we have set. This we have set as 0.3, minimum samples as 10, and dot fit x. This is the way by which we'll be able to train our data set, isn't it? Here also we'll be able to have the clustering labels, right? Now, for agglomerative hierarchical clustering, typically we are having the dendrogram. As I told you that first of all, let us say that we are having the single data. Here, what next we are doing, that is, we are drawing the dendrogram for the agglomerative clustering algorithm. For that, we can say that typically we are having one data in one cluster. We can see it over here, right? All the points in node, they are considered as, say, one cluster. Now what we do is we are merging. You can say this is 7 and 5. They are being merged. Then you can say this 10 and 7. They are getting merged, right? Not 10 and 7. 10, 7 is 1. And then after, we can say that 4 and 8. These are 2, right? These are individual. Then after we are merging them 2, 2, 2, 2. That way, then we will merge this 2, this 2. So 4 will be there, right? Again, we'll be merging them. So 4 here, 4 here, will be merging them, right? So this way we proceed further, and based on the algorithm, conditions will be merging, right? Okay. And at last, we can say that we are merging and we are having this is the dendrogram, right? So for drawing the dendrogram, here we have made one function. So you can see that for plotting the dendrogram, what is required, right? So here what we are doing is import numpy as np, import what? Now we want to have the matplotlib. So from matplotlib, import pyplot as plt. Then from scipy.cluster.hierarchy, because we want to have the hierarchical structure, isn't it? So for that, we can say import dendrogram. From sklearn.datasets, import load underscore iris. That is the data set we are using. In the previous examples, we have considered the sample small data set. Here we are using the real data set, that is the load underscore iris. With that, we'll be using the iris data set which is being loaded in our program. So from sklearn.cluster, import agglomerative clustering. That is already known to us, right? So what we do is iris is equal to load iris. So it will be able to load the iris data set. X is equal to iris.data. So we'll be able to have our X initialized. That is our data, right? For typical data sets which we are having in this sklearn.data sets, then we can load with the help of load underscore whatever is the data set name, right? It is not the typical data set which we are using separately, which is downloaded from somewhere as a CSV file. No, it is not so. Whatever data sets are already available in sklearn.data sets, that we can load with the help of load underscore that particular data set name, right? So that you can see whichever are available and whichever you can use. But now you should not change your data set. You have started your programs with a particular data set, your CSV file, and continue with that only. If you want to test for such particular data set which are available in this our sklearn data sets, then you can try, but otherwise you have to submit with your own data set, that is your own CSV file. Okay, so don't forget that. So we are loading the iris data set. Then we can say we are taking the data, that is with the help of, we can say, iris.data, right? After that, what we are doing is we are initializing the model. That is, you can say we are making the object of agglomerative clustering, right? So model is equal to agglomerative clustering. Distance threshold is equal to 0 and n underscore clusters is equal to none. Model is equal to model dot fit x. Now this is known to us, isn't it? We are training our model. Now we want to plot the dendrogram. So for that, we are giving a title to it, that is hierarchical clustering dendrogram. Plot underscore dendrogram. There is a function we have made. We are passing the model, that is our agglomerative clustering object. Then after truncate mode is equal to level, p is equal to 3. Now what are these parameters that we'll see in the function? plt.x label, we want to provide the x label. X-axis and y-axis label we want to provide. That way we can say it is number of points in node or index of point if no parenthesis, right? And plt.show. This will show us the dendrogram, right? Now what is there in the plot underscore dendrogram function? This is being written separately, okay? It is not directly available. So def plot underscore dendrogram, right? This is the dendrogram we are having, fine? Function we are having, okay? Model, and then after you can say variable number of arguments, right? So you can specify as you want. Then what we do is create the counts of samples under each node, fine? So we are specifying it as 0 and p dot 0, so it will give us the initialized 0, isn't it? N underscore samples is equal to len models dot labels. Whatever are the labels, with that we are having the n underscore samples. So we can have the idea that how many number of samples are there, right? Which we want to represent. Then what we do is for I, comma, merge in enumerate model dot children. Whatever are the children that we are taking into parts, they are the I and merge, right? If we want, we can print that and check it out what it gives us, right? You can do that. Print, enumerate, and then after we can say model dot children, right? Okay, this you can print, so you can have the idea what it contains. So what we are doing is whatever is this enumeration we are getting, that we are having in two parts, that is one is I and second is merge, right? So before understanding that, we can check it out, right? So we can have the idea what it gives us for enumerate. Okay, so now let me run this so we can have the idea. It's running. For enumerate, it is having the enumerate object, right? So we cannot understand, isn't it? No issue. Let us put that inside this. So now we can have the idea, right? See, enumerate is having enumerate object. So we cannot understand what it contains. But what we are doing is I comma merge, right? Two parameters we are taking from the enumeration. So if we print them, we can have the idea, isn't it? So let us put that. That is I, comma, say I, then comma, say merge. And after that, you can say comma, this is merge. Okay, so we can have the idea what it is. It should be here, right? All the data is available here. So it should be at the same indentation, isn't it? No, yeah, it's fine, right? Red mark is being removed because now all the lines are there in the with the same indentation, isn't it? Let us run this. So first of all, it will say that it is enumerate object. Let me show you that. I 0 merge 101142. What it is? First of all, let us consider what is there here. These are the data points, isn't it? These are the data points. Let's say what we are having. First of all, say 7 and 39. Where are they? Let's see. 7 is there. Where are we having 39? Are we having that available here? No, we are not having that. So where it is? It is somewhere where the merging is there, isn't it? Whatever is being merged at that time, we can say that we are having the 39, right? Not as this 7 and this 39 point. What we are saying is this 7 and whatever is being merged, right? Whatever is being merged. At that point, we can have the merge data, right? Whatever is merging, right? So that will consider, fine. See, if you properly calculate this example with pen and paper, you can understand that very easily. Otherwise, you cannot have the idea. Okay. So what we do is we are having this merge data. Then after what we do is for child underscore idx in merge we are having two data, right? Then if this idx is less than number of samples, then current count plus 1. That is we are considering the leaf node, right? Or otherwise what we consider is counts of this minus and underscore samples. See, after that what we do is linkage matrix is equal to np dot column underscore stack. What is that? Column underscore stack is what? Stack one dimensional arrays as columns in 2D array, right? 1D array as columns in the two-dimensional array. Okay. Let us say we are having say 1, 2, 3 and we can say 2, 3, 4. Two NP arrays are there. Here we can understand the example, right? Now if we consider NP dot column underscore stack A and B, that means what? This row or this array will be considered as the stack here, column. As a column, we'll be able to see it here. This is 1, 2, 3 in row, or you can say horizontally we are able to find. When we are doing it as column underscore stack, it is putting them in the column. Say 1, 2, 3. Here say this is 2, 3, 4. So it is putting it in the column that is 2, 3, 4. Right? For that we are using the column underscore stack and its type we are considering as the float. Right? Children, then you can say the distances, right? Then after counts And you can say that for them, we are considering the type as float. We already know that S type will convert that particular data into whatever data type we are specifying here, right? And then after we are drawing the dendrogram, that is with whatever is already available in our scipy.cluster.hierarchy.dendrogram, right? Plot the hierarchical clustering as a dendrogram, right? See, this is what the data, what we say is our linkage matrix that we want to create, and whatever are the arguments, that's what we want to specify here. And for that, we are doing all these particular things, right? So we'll be able to pass linkage matrix to the standard function, that is dendrogram, right? And with that, we'll be able to have this dendrogram, right? You can calculate the example, then you can understand that very easily, okay? I'm not going to explain you the whole example just now. Let us see the implementation, right? Now, if we want to compare few clustering algorithms, here we have considered many, but let's say that if we want to compare the clustering algorithms, then this is what is required for your OEP, that you will be having your classification algorithms, their performance comparison, clustering algorithms and their comparison you would do. And one more thing is you will conclude that for your data set, which algorithm is the best, right? So this is what we have to do. So let's see this. Print underscore underscore dark underscore underscore, what it will give us. I should have written it only here, right? So it should give us, actually typically this will give us the doc string, isn't it? It's taking longer time because many algorithms we have put in. Okay, so this will see a bit later, but uh, let me just put it separately. This doc string, right? Whatever we have specified, actually we haven't specified anything, but otherwise it can give us the doc string. Let me put it separately so you can have the idea. Automatically created module for IPython interactive environment, right? Whatever is the document string, what we are having, that we can use here. Okay. Now, here what we are doing is we are comparing few clustering algorithms, and that is with the help of the execution time and its what you can say is visualization. That is a chart according to that. So this is automated program only, but for your data set you can try, isn't it? So what is that? Import time, because we want to have the execution time comparison. Then after import numpy as np, import matplotlib.pyplot as plt because we want to plot it. From sklearn, import cluster and data sets. Cluster because we want to have the clustering algorithm, and data sets because we want to load a particular data set or we want to use a particular data set, isn't it? From sklearn.neighbors, import the neighbors graph, that we want to show the neighbors, means a point is there, so who are the neighbors of it, right? So for that we can say we can have the neighbors underscore graph. Then we can say that sklearn.preprocessing, import standard scalar, that is known to us. Pre-processing we have already done, where we have used the standard scalar, isn't it? Now np.random.seed we are having say 0. What we are doing after that? N underscore samples is equal to 1500. Generate data sets. We choose the size big enough to see the scalability of the algorithms, but not too big to avoid too long running times. Fine. So we are keeping the number of samples is equal to 1500. Now what we are doing is noisy circles. That is equal to data sets dot make underscore circles. What it does for us? Make a large circle containing a small circle in 2D. A simple toy data set to visualize clustering and classification algorithms. Fine. So what we are specifying and underscore samples is equal to this 1500 we have already specified. So we are giving here, right? Then what is the factor? Factor is 0 less than double is less than 1 and by default it is 0.8, right? So that's what we are specifying here. By default it is 0.8. Here we are taking it as 0.5. Then noise is equal to 0.5, 0.05, sorry. Noisy moons, that is equal to data sets dot make moons. These are the things available in this data sets, isn't it? It is already available in the data sets. Then we can say make underscore blobs. Blob is binary large objects, right? Generate isotropic Gaussian blobs for clustering. Now, what we say is np.random.rand for generating the random samples, isn't it? Then what we are doing is colors we are specifying X for X in these colors, right? What we can say is B, G, R, C, M, Y, K. The colors are there, isn't it? Then we can say that we are having the HP stack. Sorry, H stack. We already use the horizontal stack and vertical stacking, isn't it? Horizontally, if we want to have the data, we are using H stack. If we want to have vertical data, we are using the V stack. Now clustering algorithm names we are having. This is for K-means. This is for affinity propagation. This is for mean shift, spectral clustering, word, agglomerative clustering, DB scan, Birch. See, you can say that we want to have only 3 algorithms. It is up to you. Here we have specified many more. So you can have the idea how they work, right? This is 3 algorithms we are studying here. We are implementing here for our subject, but there are many more, right? So we are specifying the figure size. Then after we are having subplots. Then after what we can say is for data sets, we are having the noisy circles, noisy moons, blobs and no structure, right? This is what we have already initialized here, right? We have already initialized this particular variables. Now for I underscore data sets, comma, data set in enumerate data sets. Whatever data sets we are having, from that we are enumerating it and taking one as I underscore data set and second as data set. From that, we'll be taking X and Y. They are capital X and capital Y, which we typically use for training our data, isn't it? So that's what we are having here. That is data set, which will initialize the X and Y parameters. We normalize the data for easier parameter selection, that is using the standard scaler. Why are we using this standard scaler? let it come. Standard scaler is standardize the data, or we can say that it is having the data which is there in the range of 0 to 1, isn't it? Typically we used to have that. This you remember, right? -1 to +1 data we can have, right? The way we want to have our scaling or our standard data set, isn't it? Standard scaler. We are actually, what we say is, uh, any data set which is there in different units, like you can say that kilometer and meters are there, to make whole data in the same scale. We are using the standard scaler, isn't it? So that's what we are doing. And with that, we do the fit underscore transform, right? So our data set which was there in X, that is being now modified as there in the standard scaling pattern, isn't it? Then what we do is we are having the bandwidth for mean shift for different algorithms, whatever things are there, isn't it? For mean shift, we are having say estimate underscore bandwidth. For you can say k neighbors. So for that we are having the k neighbors graph, that is the Ward algorithm. Then after what we can say is say for our mean shift algorithm, what is required that we are making the object of it, right? Mini batch k-means, for that also we are making the object. For Ward algorithm, that is we are initializing the object. For spectral clustering, we are doing the same. For DB-scan, we are initializing the cluster object. We typically are having the single link or average link, or what is the distance that we can specify here, right? Here we are considering the average link. With the example in the theory, you can see all the things, right? So here the Birch algorithm, right? See all the algorithms were specified here. Now what we do is for name, comma algorithm in zip off, we are zipping it in one particular variable, that is clustering names and clustering algorithms. Fine. Now what we have to do is starting time we are having and end time will be having, right? So first of all we are training algorithm, that is a model. We can say that that is algorithm dot fit of X, right? Algorithm, that is what we are taking one by one variable here, isn't it? From this clustering names and clustering algorithms, we are having these two parameters being initialized, isn't it? So what we are doing is we are training the model. Now, see, the thing is, uh, somewhere for the algorithms, we are having the labels. For others, we can be having something else, right? So if it is having the labels, then you can say that we can have the y underscore predict, that is equal to algorithm dot labels dot s type. See, what we are doing is whether the algorithm is having the attribute as labels or not. If it is having the label, then we can say the prediction will be that particular label. If not, you can say we'll be using the predict method to predict something. Are you getting that? See, all the algorithms cannot be having the labels. It can be having anything else. So if it is having label, then you can have this, or otherwise we need to use the method, that is the predict method. Fine. Then what we are doing is we are having the subplot. Then we are setting the title of it. Then we are having the scatter plot, right? We are having the scatter plot. Now, if The algorithm is having the attribute that is cluster centers. Then we'll be having the centers plotted, right? Centers plotted. If it is not having, then we do not have to do that, isn't it? Center colors. See, if you remember in the first algorithm, that was K-means algorithm, first of all, we have plotted the clusters. That was, say, red circles, and you can say violet circles for that. Then after, we have plotted the centers. So we have made the black one, isn't it? Black one as the centers. So that's what we are able to see here. That is the centers we are plotting. But if that algorithm is not having the center, then we should not use it, right? So here the condition is that if the algorithm is having the cluster centers as one of the attribute, then we should do this, right? Or otherwise, what we are doing is for x limit, that is what you can say, uh, for x-axis, we are saying that it is starting from -2 to 2 at least. Then you can say that for y limit, we are specifying for x ticks, y ticks. X ticks is the ticks which we are putting on the x-axis. Then for y ticks, that is the y-axis, whatever dots or whatever lines we are making for, say, typically we used to write it as 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So for that, we are putting the line, okay, or dot, you can say. So that's what is being there with the help of x ticks and y ticks, right? Whatever is the plot dot text, what text we are specifying, that we are specifying with the help of this method. Then plot number plus equal to 1, because we want to see the next plot. And at last we can say plt dot show, so it will show everything. Now what it displays here, this are the all algorithms, and what we can say is for, say, mini, batch, k-means, affinity, propagation, all the algorithms, for them we are getting the plots, right? For that we are getting the plots, isn't it? So that's all for today.